Good afternoon / evening, Grapevine Faith Christian School family. I am Patrick, the food service director at the school / chef, and this is my daughter Abigail, and we are so excited to be here. We are going to prepare a meal, chicken Alfredo as a matter of fact, and we are just going to prepare a great meal, enjoy one another's company, and then we're going to eat it, and it's going to be fun, and we're going to have a great time together. So let's get to work. Before we get started, we want to make sure that we have all of our ingredients and everything that was in the email. I did not have aprons, but an apron when cooking in the kitchen is a very important item, especially if you're me, because I can make a mess in a kitchen. Abby, you may want to put the apron on. All right, so if you're still with me, and I hope you are, because we're going to have a lot of fun and it's going to be exciting, we need 4 pieces of chicken, 1 cutting board, 1 pot for boiling water, and I actually pre-filled this pot, so I'm going to put it over here, and we'll talk about this here in just a minute. And while I'm over here, you can begin filling your pot, putting water in it. I am going to turn my oven on to 425 degrees. Abby, you can participate with me, please. All right. We also have 1 large microwavable bowl. Abby, if you could set that over on the counter over there by the microwave. That's perfect. Olive oil. If you could set that over there, that would be great. A little chicken salt. Delicious. It's kosher salt in there. Cayenne pepper. Fresh black pepper. Yum. Brenda Williams' favorite. Almost made a mess. Ground nutmeg. Ground white pepper. Ground mustard. And we have some garlic. We don't need a lot of garlic, so if you have fresh garlic, you can mince it. Or if you have minced garlic like this, that would be fantastic. All right, over there, 2 sticks of fat, also known as butter. It's one of the greatest gifts in the kitchen. All right, 2 sticks of butter, 2 pounds or 2 boxes of pasta, and I put on there a couple options, rigatoni, fettuccine, or penne, and I really like penne because it stretches and it fills the bowl up well, and it's really easy for kids to eat. So we have our 2 boxes of pasta. I will set those over here. We also have our all-purpose flour right here. Here you go.
Thank you.
A tablespoon for measuring a few items, and I'll talk about measuring and things like that here in a minute. Got that. We have a measuring cup. We will keep our fresh basil over here for a little bit. And then we have 1 quart of heavy cream. It is so good. Right there, we have our half and half. And this will be very close to 4 cups of whole milk. And we're going to work through all of that here in just a minute. And then we have our saucepan, our skillet, and our utensils over there. So if you could set the skillet on the large over there, Abby.
Okay.
All right, that is perfect skillet placement. Thank you. A spoon for stirring our noodles. Tongs for our chicken. A ladle for making our delicious pasta dish at the end. And a whisk, if you could put the whisk over there. And the cheese. The Parmesan cheese will go right here. All right, so a little history about Alfredo. We here in America, we think that Alfredo is this creamy sauce, kind of like mac and cheese. And originally, when it was invented in France, that's not what it was. It was butter and Parmesan cheese. Now those 2 items are fantastic, but I actually like the way that we do it here in America because the base of the sauce, which I'm going to teach you guys how to make tonight, stretches and it does so many different things. The sauce that we're actually going to start with is called a Bechamel, and that is a mother sauce. It's one of the 5 mother sauces that or in kitchens or the culinary world, and you can take that mother sauce and use it and make a multitude of different things, like a velouté, or, and that's a big fancy word, but that is a white sauce with chicken stock. You can make mac and cheese sauce with it, just all sorts of things. I'm going to show you how to make that, and Abby's actually going to do the bulk of the cooking. So Abby, we're going to get started. So if you could turn the skillet on to medium heat, that would be fantastic. And we're going to want to go to medium heat. Medium. There's medium. All right. So we'll just scoot over just a second. Take your olive oil while your skillet is heating and drizzle a little bit. I'm not big on measuring. I kind of eyeball things and go by taste. So we'll talk about that too. All right. Do you have it, Rach? Rach is my wife, and she is the camera person this evening. All right. So you want it to be coated, but not too much. And we're going to get that hot to where it just starts to smoke. All right, Abby, if we can come over here. We actually need to grab the salt. And I have the pepper. And if you want to grab your kosher salt, you're going to take salt and liberally season each piece. We're going to do one side, and then we're going to stick it in the skillet, and then we'll do the other side. Are we good, Rach? Mm-hmm. All right. Abby, what was the best part of your day today?
Probably seeing my friend that I haven't seen in a while.
Oh, who was that?
Jaden.
Oh, cool. All right. Pepper. I love fresh black pepper. Pepper in it. I like to sing songs in the kitchen. I usually like to have music playing too. Right now would be a fantastic time for a little old Italian music. I won't say a name so we don't get in trouble, but it would be great. All right, we're going to go back over to our skillet. We're going to set this right here, and our oil is still getting hot. Can you see in the pan how it's starting to separate over to the sides there? And you can start to kind of smell it. Well, while that's continuing to get hot, we are going to put our heavy cream. And Abby, if you want to measure out 4 cups of whole milk, that would be great. And this is going in our microwave safe bowl. And the reason we're not going to heat this up on the stove is because it will scald. That's what usually happens to me. And I can do it a lot faster in the microwave. This meal should take 35 to 40 minutes to make from start to finish. So there's 1. And there's 2. And there's 3. Wow. Perfect. All right. So now we have all of our liquid in here, and we're not going to actually start the microwave, but we are going to put it in the microwave, and it'll be ready for us when we start melting our butter here in a second. Okay, so the oil over here, if you can see, it's actually starting to smoke. So what we want to do, Abby, what are you doing? So what we want to do is we want to take our pieces of chicken and we want to sear them. And when I say the word sear, that is sealing in the flavor and all the juices of the chicken. So we're going to do this for about 1.5 minutes on each side, and hopefully I can get them all in there without touching. So we sear them on a medium to medium-high heat, and then we finish them in the oven. And while they're finishing in the oven, we make our sauce. All right, I'm just going to head over here real quick. Okay, Abby, if you want to season the other part of the chicken, just like I did here a second ago. I'm going to set this, I'll rinse this while Abby is seasoning the chicken. How are we looking?
Pretty good.
That's good. Okay. Wow. Perfect, Andy. Good work. One of my favorite smells in the kitchen is chicken and olive oil and salt and pepper. It just starts to smell up the whole house, and my stomach starts to rumble and growl and do funny things, and I just get hungry, and it's just great. And I actually failed to put the garlic in there. So, what you want to do before you put your chicken in, you want to throw about that much garlic. That's about a tablespoon of minced garlic right into your pan. And that's really just to kind of flavor the oil and the chicken while it's doing. You hear that? Okay. So while that's doing that, find your saucepan, take your stick of butter, open it up and put 1 stick of butter in the saucepan. I should have turned that up just a little bit. One thing you don't want to do with chicken is you don't want to flip it too much. If you flip it too much, it actually becomes rubbery. So you really just want to flip it one time, and then that sears in on the other side, and you have a nice seared piece of meat. You stick it in the oven, you finish it, and when it comes out, it should be nice and moist and delicious. Delicious is the key. Okay, so while that's doing that, we're going to flip it here in just a second. A little information on making a roux, and you can make a roux with any type of fat and liquid, but we're making a roux here with our 1 stick of butter, and that is 8 tablespoons, and we're also making it with our 8 cups of heavy cream and whole milk. And a little fact for you, when you're making a roux, you make it by a 1:1:1 ratio. And what that means is, for every tablespoon of fat, you have 1 tablespoon of flour and 1 cup of liquid. Alright, I hope that was informational, because it took me a long time to learn that. And it works pretty well. So we want a little bit more color on that. It's not quite ready. This color that's right here, the traces on it, that's the color we want the whole chicken to be. So we'll wait just a second longer here. The garlic is starting to smell really good. Delicious. Delicious it is. Sing it, Abby. I don't know about all of you that are at home right now, but I sure am getting excited. Hopefully in the fall we can all be back together and see one another and just enjoy one another's company and fellowshipping and eating food together. That is one of my favorite things to do. Looking forward to graduation on June 19th. Yep, we're almost there. Alright, flipping that one. Not quite the color I want, but that's okay. It's still going to be good. The beautiful thing about making sauces is they cover up some mistakes with cooking meat or other things. So if you make a really good sauce, you can cover up some things, which is good because mistakes happen in the kitchen, or not necessarily mistakes, but sometimes you cook things and it doesn't turn out quite the way you like, but you have a sauce that is phenomenal, and you put it on there and it's like the best thing you've ever eaten. Alright, so that's doing that. What we're going to do is we are going to actually turn our water on to about a medium-high heat so that can get rolling, because the chicken's only going to take 15 minutes. And I like to salt my water, and there's a very good reason for that. If you don't salt your water, there was 3 pretty solid scoops of salt. Here's my salt for you. If you don't salt your water, what will happen is when you put the sauce on there, if it's a white sauce or a red sauce or anything, if you put it onto your noodles, the sauce actually loses its flavor. So if you salt the pasta absorbs the salt, and so you get the taste of the pasta and the sauce doesn't lose its flavor. That's why sometimes you go out to eat, or even in your own house, and if the pasta wasn't salted and you taste it, you're like, oh, that's kind of bland. Well, that's one of the reasons why. All right. Oh, see, now that's the color you want right there. That's perfect. I know I said not to flip it too many times, so we don't want to do that. So we're going to leave that just like that. And now, we're going to shut that off. And we are going to stick that in the oven for 15 minutes. And then in 15 minutes, we'll check it, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, kitchen timer, 15 minutes. Okay, Abby, if you want to take the quart pan or the saucepan and stick it on that same burner. You ready? And now turn that up to the same temperature, that medium heat there. Yep, perfect. All right, now we're going to let that start to bubble or melt or help. Well, yeah, you want to wait just a second. All right, so while that's melting, now you want to turn on your microwave, if I can find. Uh-oh. Okay. You want to do 2 minutes and 30 seconds. We're going to do that. We're going to stir it, and we're going to do it for another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So I would suggest that for the chicken, you set a timer on your phone and not your microwave, unless you know how to figure that out, but I can't figure that out. So I would use a phone. All right, how are we doing here, Abby?
It's melting fast.
Perfect. That is perfect. Any questions, Rach? Anything? I want to answer questions. I wish I was able to do that right now. Answer questions about cooking and share some interesting facts with you. I actually, a little bit interesting about me, I started cooking in 1997 at a restaurant in Casper, Wyoming called the Cottage Cafe. And this is actually where I started to kind of learn some of these things. And then after that, in 1999, I joined the United States Air Force and I went in as a cook. So I learned how to do all sorts of crazy things in the kitchen, on bases stateside and in the Middle East, and supporting Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then I came home and I got out of the military in 2007, and I got a job as a food service director / executive chef at a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. And then after about a year of that, I got a position doing the same thing with a company called Pioneer College Caterers, and that company serves strictly Christian colleges and universities. And I did that for 8 years, doing the same thing, executive chef, been all over the country, I've served the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of the Air Force. We did an event for Bill Clinton back in 2000 before George Bush actually took the presidency. I've served and catered for multiple Christian artists and things like that. So I've done food service for a really long time. It's a lot of fun. I think Abby has a knack for it. We love cooking. She loves being in the kitchen. Sometimes I like to be in control, so it's hard to give that up, but that's okay because we're just learning. So now what you want to do is your butter, when it starts to bubble and make that really awesome butter sound, it's just the sound of life and love and deliciousness and getting together as family and friends and eating, enjoying one another's company. All right, that was 2:30, so I will check that. So Abby, that's 1.
Okay.
You want to do
8.
7 more. So what you want to do is you want to stir your liquid real quick, and then I always do. You videoing that? That's pretty cool. I always do the pinky test to see what my temperature is. We are not even close to being hot, so that's okay. We're going to go another 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So, why do we heat up the liquid before we add it to our hot roux? That is a really fantastic question, and I'm going to answer that for you. Because there was a time back in 1997 and somewhere around there that I used to add cold liquid to my hot roux. And what happens when we do that? Are you leveling that off? Mm-hmm. It's okay if you're not. So I don't level anything off. I should, but I don't. So what happens when you add cold liquid? Yes, mixing would be perfect. So mix it faster than that. So when you add cold liquid to hot, what happens to your sauce or your roux? You get lumps. You get lumpy gravy. And it also takes a while for it to come together, and we don't want that. So what do? We get our liquid hot, and when we add it to our roux, it comes together very fast, and you don't get lumps. But you have to stir really fast when you're doing that. And I'll show you that here in just a second. All right, Rach, if you could pan in on what that's doing. Oh, keep stirring. Okay, so what you don't want to have happen here is you don't want it to start browning. So you want to turn that down to low or even off. So we can turn it back on real fast. Perfect. And you want to keep stirring it or else it will start to burn on the bottom. And we are not making gumbo. If we were making gumbo, that would be okay. We would want to get that as brown and as dark as we possibly could, and we would have a fantastic start to our gumbo. Some gumbo would be really fun to make one time too. I love gumbo. Makes me want to sing some songs about being on the bayou. All right, getting funny looks from my wife. We have 22 seconds here. I am going to bring this cup back over. No need to spell that. I'm just talking to myself here. All right, bringing the cup back over. That's right, our water is starting to get hot. This is just coming along just perfect. And on the list that you had, I talked about cheese. The cheese, I said we needed, I believe, 8 ounces of shredded Parmesan and 4 ounces. So I'm doing the pinky test. You don't have to do that. It's not quite as hot as I'd like. You should stick your pinky in there if that's how you want to do it, or a thermometer, and it should be 160 degrees. So when you stick your finger or pinky in there, it should kind of, woo! You want to pull that right out. So we're going to go another minute 30, and that'll be good. Abby, if you could actually take that off because it is starting to get a little brown. So we want to take that off. No. Just let it sit right there. What you don't want to have happen is your butter turn brown, like really dark brown. It's okay if it's a little brown because it actually gives it a little bit of a nutty flavor. But not too much, or else you get a weird color, weird taste. And we almost did it, guys. We almost got it too brown, but we didn't do that. We did okay. So we've got 57 seconds, and then we're going to make this beautiful, delicious Alfredo sauce. Now you're probably wondering, why do we have all those weird spices wherever those went? Why is there ground mustard, ground nutmeg, ground white pepper, and ground cayenne pepper in an Alfredo sauce? That's bizarre. I would just think there was salt and pepper, or maybe just salt. I don't know. Well, that's because we're making a bechamel. That's our start. And then we're going to turn it into what we Americans call an Alfredo sauce. So, a bechamel has ground mustard, ground nutmeg, ground white pepper, and ground cayenne pepper, plus salt. All right, here we go. I'm not even going to test it this time. We're going to call it good. Okay. So, now, what we're going to do, Abby, so we're going to come over here. You're going to stir. Okay, scoot over here. All right, start stirring. See, that's almost a little too dark, guys. And then we want to add our liquid. Go, quick, quick, hurry! Ah! See how that's coming together? Oh, it's beautiful.
Not really.
Abby.
Sorry.
Yep. Okay, you add. I stir. All right. Kind of want to. Oh, wow. Perfect. Okay, you don't have to. It's okay, man. We're not like speed racing here. Perfect. All right. Hope it's going well there at home. I bet it is. Might even have a few spills. It's okay. All right. Now, no, stop. Okay. So now, what you want to do is you want to take the bowl. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. Beautiful. And you should start feeling it coming together. So we're going to do this. Now, while that's going on,
what do you mean by coming together? What would that feel like?
what it feels like is if it's not coming together and you stir kind of and just milk, it feels like there's like nothing there. It's kind of nothing there. So, sorry, when it's coming together, you can almost feel this pull and this tension on your whisk. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That was a great question. Thank you. You kind of want to scrape the bottom, go back and forth, go around, scrape the bottom. Oh, you know what really helps, guys? You might, if you shut your thing off, you might want to turn it back on. That helps to bring it together even more. And it's because we got it hot, it was coming together. I'm glad I looked over there. Woo, buddy, that was almost a big mistake. I would have sat here for 20 minutes just talking, and nothing would have been going on. I would have been like, what the heck is going on here? But, all right, so Abby,
Yes.
what we want to do is, first off, I want to wipe up our little mess here. Just clean as you go. That's what they always say, right? Clean as you go. I'm not necessarily the best at that, but that's okay. I'm doing it right now. All right, so we're going to take the salt.
Okay.
Take the lid off the chicken salt. Okay. Put a pinch of salt in there.
Like a good pinch?
Oh, a dad pinch.
So big pinch.
Yes. Okay.
More?
Yep. Salt is not always your friend, but when you're making food, salt's pretty good. You just got to be careful because you can oversalt, and I've done that before. Oh, you want more than that? Yeah, we want flavor. Now remember, your stick of butter was salted butter. All right, let's do one more.
Okay.
And if you see those and you have measuring spoons and that would work better for you, it's actually about a teaspoon of salt each time. And she did 4, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so now we have our next ingredients, and I'm going to do these ones just for safety because, not that Abby can't do it, she can. But nutmeg is extraordinarily strong. You don't need much nutmeg at all. You need like that much. That was probably not even an 1/8 of a teaspoon. I would say almost a 1/16. I don't believe that you can get that measurement, but here's white pepper. White pepper is also very strong. Just need a little bit. Here's your ground mustard. Also a little bit of that. And then, now, it just depends on who you're feeding. In my family, I would add a little bit extra ground cayenne, but just a little bit. Just a little. That's all you need right there. Don't get her done. I'm probably not supposed to say that. Don't say that. All right. Stirring.
So by watching, it looked like you added about a 1/16 of a teaspoon of the nutmeg, but maybe a little bit more of the others, or would they all be about the same?
I would say a 1/16 of nutmeg and an 1/8 of a teaspoon of the other ones. Oh yeah.
That looks good.
Yep. So you're probably wondering, are we ever going to add the cheese to this thing? Well, of course we're going to add the cheese to this, but we're going to do that real close to the end. When it starts to get good and hot and almost bubbling. Now our chicken has been about 12 minutes, so we're going to check it here in another 3 minutes. Our water. What?
Why do we wait till the end to add the cheese?
if you don't wait until the end, it'll stick to your pot and burn. And if you add it at the very end when everything is really, really hot, it'll melt almost instantaneously, and you'll see. I'll show you when we get to that spot. It's another fantastic question. That Rachel, man, she's awesome. Fun fact about Rachel and I, we have 4 kids. Abby is only one of them. The other 3 aren't really kitchen participators, and that's okay. But we have been married in December. It'll be 19 years. We met in Omaha, Nebraska in January of 2000. So we have lived a lot of life together. We met in Omaha, like I said. We moved to close to Pensacola, Florida. I know a lot of you guys know that area. Navarre Beach, Destin, that area. We were at Herbert Field is where I was stationed in Fort Walton Beach. We were there for 5 years. After that, we moved to Tennessee. After Tennessee, we moved to Minnesota. After Minnesota, we moved to Portland, Oregon. After Portland, Oregon, we moved to Los Angeles. I don't recommend going there ever. And then we moved to Dallas, and we have actually been here for 6 years, which is the longest we have lived anywhere, and it's been good. We like the Dallas area. What do you think, Abby?
I like it a lot.
Abby is my second oldest. Connor is my oldest. He's 15. They were both born in Florida. Gideon was born in Knoxville, Tennessee, and Hannah was born in Portland, Oregon, 2 weeks before we moved to LA. Woof! That was not fun, especially for Rachel. So fun facts about us. All right, now, Abby, if you could continue to kind of stir that off to the side. It should be right at 15 minutes on our chicken. So I am looking for my pot holder right here. And this one right here. Right. Ooh, yeah. What?
It's hot.
When you poke, what are you feeling?
I was going to talk about that here in just a second. All right. So, the chicken, go ahead, if it's been 15 minutes, and it has, go ahead and shut your oven off, and you can leave that chicken in there just for a second to let it rest and kind of let all those juices that are in that chicken, because you seared it so well, they're going to all kind of settle, and you're not going to lose any of that moisture. Is it doing good? Mm-hmm. All right, so while that is resting, you're going to take 8 ounces of shredded Parmesan. You're going to add that in. And that was 6 ounces, so we're going to do another 2.
It gets thick.
Do what?
It gets thick fast.
Yep. Be careful. Abby, careful. You want to be careful when you're stirring because it will go over the edge. And this is going to be our 2 ounces there. That'll bring all of that nice together, become creamy. All right, let me see it just for a second. Just kind of want to. Ooh, that is full. Oh, see that? That's that cheese melting right there.
It's cheesy goodness.
Cheesy goodness. Abby, if you want to go ahead, so now your noodles water should be boiling. So you want to put your noodles in there. Right after you add your noodles, you want to stir them so that they don't stick together. Now some people say that you should add oil to your water, and I'm going to say that you should not add oil to your water because what oil does, we'll wait for Abby to finish dumping.
Sorry.
Oh, no need to be sorry. All right, so oil, when you add oil to your water, it actually causes the pasta, when you go to serve it, the sauce actually doesn't stick to the pasta. It kind of runs off. And you want your sauce sticking to the pasta just like it's going to stick to your ribs. Delicious. All right.
Start with that spoon.
Yep. It's fine. So now, your pasta should take about 8 minutes to cook. We're finishing up our sauce here. We're going to taste it about 10 times. I'm going to show you that and tell you what we're looking for. And right before the noodles are done, we're going to pull that chicken out so that it doesn't burn our hands when we go to cut it.
It's really steamy, so the
It
spoon gets
is.
a little bit slippery.
It is really steamy. Abby, what is your all-time favorite thing to cook?
This is one of my favorites, but I really like making spaghetti.
Yes, spaghetti is a good one. So, one of the reasons that I chose for this to be our first meal that we do like this, and I hope that we get to do this multiple times because it's a lot of fun. I like to cook and I like to kind of teach and do some things like that. But one of the reasons I chose this one is because this sauce is so versatile. You can take this and instead of adding Parmesan, you could add smoked cheddar, or you could add one of my favorite things to make is chicken cordon bleu with a smoked Gouda cheese sauce or smoked Gouda cream sauce. And I would make this exact same thing except I would use smoked Gouda and I would put lemon juice in at the very end for that sauce. If you like using Velveeta, you can add Velveeta to this. I'm going to go with a pass on that. You can make just all sorts. You can actually do this same thing. If you like sausage gravy, you can brown off your sausage. You can add in your butter, however much you decide. If you're just going to do a quart of heavy cream or half and half, you can add 4 tablespoons of butter right into your ground sausage. My goggles are foggy. You can add that right in there, let it melt, add your flour, and then heat up your milk real fast or whatever you're using, and add it in there, season it the way you like, and you have sausage gravy. I like to throw a can of green chilies in my sausage gravy. It makes it very delicious. You don't have to keep stirring it. That is fine. You can set the spoon to the side. Your sauce should be done. I can feel it. It's come together. You don't see any more cheese strings kind of melting there. It's kind of got this glaze on top. It's really, really nice. And as you're doing this, if it starts to bubble, you just kind of want to turn it down. Like that's starting to bubble, so we want to actually, I'm going to shut that off. And we're going to start just every few seconds here, maybe every 30 seconds, and we're going to taste it to see how our seasoning is. Oh, yeah.
It's tasty.
It is tasty. Now, hold on. It's not really picture worthy yet.
No.
But that's okay. It's all good. We're going to take that. The other side should be nice and caramelized. I have no forks. That's okay. All right. So, we're just going to let this rest. Don't grab the pan like I just did because that's a really bad idea. Oh, see, that's what we're looking for right there. It's beautiful. Now, instead of doing it in your pan, you could grill it. You could cook the chicken however you like. That is what I'm looking for, that nice caramelized color right there. And I grabbed the pan without the hot pad, and I've got to tell you, it was pretty darn hot. But that's okay. All right. So, now what you want to do is grab some spoons. Have your helpers in the kitchen grab some spoons. What you doing?
It's getting kind of stuck to the bottom.
Oh, well, you don't want that. So, I'll just kind of just go right there with it. That's good. Our stove is really kind of weird. Even sometimes you shut it off, it keeps on cooking the food. But that's okay. We'll just pull it off there. It's perfect. So, when you're tasting food, what are you looking for? You're looking for a creamy taste. You're looking for salt. You're looking for a little bit of heat from the cayenne and savory. I hope that kind of the savory just is, I don't even know how to explain savory, but it's a savory flavor that you're looking for. You're looking for a cheesy, savory just delicious flavor in your mouth. So that's what we're looking for. Abby, you taste, and then I'll taste. Kind of do that.
It's really creamy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff right there. Now, if you want to, some people would add garlic into that, maybe some garlic powder or garlic salt. I would not do that, and there's a reason, because I have all, this is not the same spoon that I use to taste the sauce, I promise. But now, we add from the drippings from the pan. Here, I'll do it this way. Maybe, hopefully, I'm gonna make a mess.
I can catch it.
It's not gonna work. Were you nervous?
Yeah.
All right, I hope nobody tried to do that. Okay, here we go. We're adding. Oh, yeah. I might give it a little weird color, but I can promise you it's gonna give it a phenomenal taste.
Would you like me to mix it?
Okay, so now we're gonna mix that. I use a lot of spoons in my house because I taste food all the time. One of the reasons I got a little bit of a belly. All right. So we're doing that. Your noodles should be about done. I would almost guarantee they're done. So we're going to taste that one more time, Abby, if you want to go ahead and taste that. I'm going to stir the noodles. And what are we looking for? You guys have probably heard the term al dente. You probably even know what that means. But that means that it's still a little firm, but it's not crunchy. Want to taste it? Still a little firm. There's no crunch though, like a raw noodle or not cooked noodle. So that means they're done.
That's
So
really good.
we'll shut that off. I'm going to taste this. Now you're probably wondering, why in the world? Oh man, that is really, really, really good. That's outstanding right there. I'm not just saying that because I made it. It really is outstanding. So, sauce is ready. Oven's off. Noodles are ready. Why in the world do we have 2 sticks of butter? We haven't even used one of the sticks of butter. Well, I'm going to tell you. I like to layer my flavors because the reason for layering my flavors, I'm probably talking away from the camera, so I'll come back. Alright, like I said, I like to layer my flavors. And the reason I do that is because we spent the last 20 minutes making this sauce that is fantastic, phenomenal, delicious. If my noodles are bland and not seasoned, what's going to happen to my sauce? It's going to lose all of its flavor, and people are going to be like, well, it was okay, but I thought it would be better. Well, the way I layer my noodles, I like to put more fat in there because it's good. Now, you could use olive oil. Olive oil is a good choice. And you might be thinking, well, you just told me if you put oil in the water, it causes the noodles to not retain the sauce. Well, if you put it in after cooking, I don't know what the science is, I don't know how it works, but the sauce still sticks to the noodles. So, got that butter melting, and butter actually sticks to noodles really well. You got the butter melting. We're going to take, just for fun, not a lot, you don't need a lot, a little bit of salt. And then, I'm going to use this for the end. I have some already cracked black pepper, just because it's easier and takes a lot less time. Put that in there. Put that there. Stir that up. Don't do that. Use a spoon. All right. We're at home, not work. We can use our fingers. That's good. All right. So we're gonna head over here, Rach. Abby, if you could grab me a chef knife, please.
Like this one?
Sure. I wouldn't carry it like that, but when you carry a knife, you always want to hold it with the tip down. Why? Because if you fall, you don't want it to go through your throat. All right. If you could grab me a small bowl to put this basil in. You're going to take your basil that I had you get. You're going to rip the leaves off like I just did. It's okay if there's a few stems in there. That's perfect. And then you're going to want to bunch it like this. Bunch it up. Kind of hold it. And you want to tuck your fingers back, and you want to leave your knife blade on the cutting board. Why do you tuck your fingers back? Well, so you don't cut the tips off. Why do you leave the knife blade on the board? The same reason, so you don't cut the tips of your finger off. When I was first learning how to cook and work in a kitchen, I had to slice a lot of tomatoes. Why? Well, because I was the low man on the totem pole, and that's what you get to do. You slice tomatoes, and you slice onions. And I had to go to the emergency room twice because I cut the little tip of my finger off. So I learned my lesson, and I learned how to use my knife. All right, you put your basil in your cup, and I'll show you why. Abby, if you could grab the 4 bowls over there, please. Now, 4 pieces of chicken in our house can serve 6 people. So it should be able to do that at your house too. Now, Rachel asked a question earlier. Why do you push the top? Well, when you push chicken or any type of meat, if it's done, it'll spring right back. If you push in and it kind of stays or it's really soft, it's not finished and it needs to cook longer. Now, a better way to do it is to actually have a meat thermometer, but I don't happen to have access to one right now. So now you can cut the chicken however you like. And while the chicken is being cut, Abby, if you could go ahead and put noodles in each of those bowls, that would be great. That is really, really hot. I would suggest using tongs. I would use my tongs, but they are, I flipped raw chicken with them, and I don't want to cross-contaminate. And one thing I like to do when I'm cooking my chicken, I want to make sure it tastes good, and it sure does. So we're cutting our chicken, we're getting our bowls, and I will show you the finished product here in just a second. I hope you learned something tonight. This was a lot of fun. Next time I'll have some more talking points. Well, this is what I love to do. And we love to eat in our family and cook together sometimes and just enjoy one another's company. And this is, we eat a home cooked meal pretty much every night. Would you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Yes.
Once in a while, we order pizza because it's delicious. Once in a while, we eat pizza. We make our own pizza, which is also delicious. And then, for the final product, you can serve this however you like. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick. Hands rinsed. Drying my hands off. Bring my sauce over. Excuse me. Okay, we got our sauce. Got our pasta. And here's how we're going to serve it. Not like that. You're also, wow, who's that for?
Connor.
I'm not even sure that we can get anything else in there. Let's put a little bit back. Okay, you're probably wondering why I asked you to get shaved Parmesan. Well, it's really for this part right here. It's just for garnish, and I actually wasn't able to get any at HEB, so I'm using shredded. Now you can layer it however you want. I do noodles. I do chicken, like that. Debbie, can you grab the cracked black pepper container, please? And then Mom's got it. All right. I do one over the chicken. Then I do a little bit of basil. However much basil you decide is good for you. Some cracked black pepper because it's awesome. As much as you like. And then we finish it with cheese. Got the handle in my way. That's okay. Some fresh Parmesan. Shaved would be just so much better. But that's okay. And that's it. Now you know how to make chicken Alfredo. Or how I make chicken Alfredo. Hope you learned something. Have a great evening. And God bless.